liar may control their words, but not every movement. Body language alone never proves deception. Yet before we begin, remember that body language should always be interpreted in context. Stress, personality, and culture can all influence how someone behaves. The first pattern is a delayed reaction. Sometimes a brief pause may appear when someone is carefully organizing a response. A pause alone doesn't mean someone is lying. It may simply reflect careful thinking or uncertainty. Another commonly discussed behavior is touching the face during moments of pressure.
Right, I've noticed that.
Some people touch their face when they feel uncomfortable, but many honest people do this too. A third pattern may be unusually stiff posture, especially if someone suddenly becomes less relaxed. The first pattern is a delayed reaction. Sometimes a brief pause may appear when someone is carefully organizing a response. Context changes behavior. The same person may act very differently in comfortable and stressful situations. So far, we've explored 3 commonly discussed patterns, but none of them should ever be viewed as proof. The bigger picture always matters. Another pattern sometimes discussed is a sudden reduction in natural hand gestures. What's often more important than the gesture itself is whether it changes from someone's normal behavior. Stress can sometimes create subtle tension in the hands, although many situations besides deception can produce the same reaction. Notice how behavior often changes with the level of pressure rather than with honesty alone.
Can you walk me through the contingency plan for the market volatility?
Yes, the plan is more complex than a simple response. Even then, mismatched timing doesn't automatically indicate deception. Fatigue, nervousness, or distraction can also influence communication. Eye contact is often misunderstood. Both avoiding eye contact and maintaining unusually intense eye contact can appear in many different situations. There is no single eye movement that reliably tells us whether someone is lying. Individually, each behavior tells us very little. Together, they simply encourage us to observe more carefully before jumping to conclusions. The most valuable skill isn't spotting a liar. It's learning to observe behavior thoughtfully while remembering that context always comes first. One helpful approach is comparing someone's behavior across different situations rather than focusing on a single moment. Stress can change body language dramatically, even when someone is being completely honest. Good observers avoid rushing to conclusions. Instead, they stay curious and gather more context. Everyone has their own communication style. What seems unusual for one person may be completely normal for another. Instead of comparing their behavior, we should look at their individual patterns.
Right, that way it's about growth, not just competition.
Exactly. Personal progress is the key. A thoughtful pause can simply reflect careful thinking. It shouldn't automatically be interpreted as deception. When pressure decreases, body language often returns to a person's normal baseline. Behavior becomes more meaningful when we observe consistent patterns across different situations. The goal isn't to catch someone lying. It's to better understand how stress and communication can influence body language. Body language offers valuable clues, but it never replaces evidence, conversation, or understanding the full situation. As we've seen, body language becomes more meaningful when we observe repeated patterns instead of isolated moments. People often behave differently depending on stress, confidence, fatigue, and the surrounding environment. The same person may communicate differently in different situations without any intention to deceive. Instead of looking for one suspicious gesture, notice whether several behaviors consistently appear together. Individual personality plays a major role in how people express themselves. Reliable observations come from consistent behavioral patterns collected over time. Understanding body language is about improving communication, not judging people. Each of these behaviors may sometimes appear under pressure, but none of them alone can tell us whether someone is telling the truth. The most useful approach is staying curious, asking thoughtful questions, and considering the complete situation before forming conclusions. Since body language offers valuable clues, but it never provides certainty. Context, conversation, and